Then when I graduated in 1960, the government said I had to go serve as a soldier for 2 years. I asked permission to do non-military service. So there's an agency in Akron, Pennsylvania called MCC, the Mennonite Central Committee, that helps young men find civilian work instead of military work. So my friend Bob Shack, a Canadian, he and I volunteered to go work in a hospital in Nepal, way up high in the Himalayan mountains. And we were all ready to go to Nepal. And then Ajahn Forrest Travailler,จากฟาร์มสัมพันธกิจอำเภอเมืองจังหวัดเชียงราย he asked the MCC if they had two young men to help on this cooperative farm. So Bob and I went. He was very good at mechanics, and then I worked in the school. I taught music, I taught English, and I taught basketball. So we were there for 3 years. Went back to the United States in 1963. I went to work on a master's degree in music. This was in New York City, and our school was next to Columbia University that had an ethnomusicology class. So I took this class, and I learned some methods, and I learned what the scope of ethnomusicology is. And then my wife and I and two young girls, we traveled to California for 2 months, and I went to UCLA to learn from Dr. David Morton. He had just finished his thesis, his doctoral thesis on Central Thai music. So we got to Chiang Mai, and I became the teacher at TTS, Thailand Theological Seminary. And I taught singing, I taught organ, piano. I started a project of using Thai instruments, Ranat, Khan, Kim, Unkalung, well that's called Malaysia, and other things like that. We composed music in a Thai style for the Christian churches. And a lot of people enjoyed that. Some people thought it was not a good idea. In my spare time, I took my tape recorder and my camera, my notebook, and my Honda, and I drove around the countryside looking for musicians to record, and also, of course, in the town of Chiang Mai. I went to the temples, especially Wat Chiang Yun, Wat Chiang Mun, and I met some very wonderful people, and other temples too, and I went to just look for Lana music wherever I could find it, in the town, in the country, and I would ask people who know music, can you tell me where are the best musicians that I can record, that I can visit? And so after 4 years, I had collected a big library of tapes. It was all reel-to-reel tapes in those days, and little cassettes. So after I left, by the time I left, I had more than 150 reels of music. So most of them I had sent back to UCLA with friends who were traveling. We left Chiang Mai in 1971. We went to Bluffton, Ohio. Well, we had a year in Austria.
Mm-hmm.
After Chiang Mai, 1 year in Austria, where I studied at the School for Music Education. The school started by Carl Orff. And then we went to Bluffton, but then it was called Bluffton College. Now it's called Bluffton University. So I taught vocal music, I taught singing, and I had a class in Asian music. I organized a class in Asian music. And I taught some Thai music. I had a group of performers who played Salah Saw Sung. We played a few songs. That was good fun. And it was at this time that I met David Morton. David Morton was still living, and he invited me to write these articles, as I said. And then also Terry Miller, Dr. Terry Miller, came to visit us in Bluffton, and that was a good thing. We had a lot of good talks. And after 2 years at Bluffton, we moved here to Dartmouth.